afternoon and a very warm welcome to you. This is Afternoon Express. My name is Jeannie D and I trust that you are having an amazing week. So looking forward to the weekend. Now today we're discussing parenthood, and more specifically we're discussing early childhood development. Now first up we're sitting down with the writer and illustrator Themba Mabaso, who started a self-publishing company called Njabulo Publishers that makes a range of children's books. Then we chat to the director of the Center for Early Childhood Development to get a better understanding of the education crisis that we are currently facing in South Africa and how strongly it's linked to the crucial first few years in a child's life. And we check out the opening of a new preschool in the disadvantaged community of Hangberg, which costs 5 million rand and took 5 years to create. So you definitely don't want to miss today's show. What's happening in the kitchen, boys?
So much. Good afternoon, South Africa. So much fun is about to be had in the kitchen, and it is the weekend. And generally on a Friday, you have that song that plays on the radio that's called your weekend song, you know, the one that gets into the groove for the weekend. Mine today is walk, 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 gimme, walk, 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 walk. Clem, how's it? It's almost the weekend. We want something simple and easy to do over the weekend. What can we do that's going to be quick and easy?
Well, first of all, I'm not wearing an apron. All right, you see that?
I see that.
I'm starting something new. It's called #NoWorkFridays.
Why?
I'm not working on a Friday anymore.
So who's going to make the food?
You and Jeannie are.
Oh, wow.
You're gonna rock out with your walkout. It's gonna be a walk challenge. Are you guys ready?
I think I'm ready. The day I've been waiting for has just arrived. I'm so excited. So what do we have to do?
You're gonna each have the same ingredients. You're gonna have about 4 minutes to put together a dish that will be judged.
Okay.
Hectically, and the loser gets sent off the island.
Oh, wow. This is a job at stake.
Yeah.
This is pretty serious stuff right over here. What I'm going to say is, Jeannie, I hope you're ready.
Well, Danilo, I don't think I would ever accept a cooking challenge, but today I think might be my day to beat you in a walk-off. I'm looking forward to that. Now, Themba Mabaso is an author and illustrator who started the self-publishing company Njabulo Publishers in 2003 with the aim to get more South African children to read. His stories and characters have a distinct local flavour, and over the years of its existence, his company has brought out 18 titles, and some of those have been translated to different languages as well. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you.
Now, you are an illustrator, a writer, an author, so many different things, so incredibly talented. But why children's books in particular?
Well, I started reading when I was young myself. I was lucky that I grew up in an area where there was a library, and I immersed my time at the library reading books. And I remember that when I was reading one book, I said to myself, one day I'm going to write books. And as I grew up, I realized that even the reading material that I read, they were in English, and a lot of them also I had to learn a lot of things, especially because the context was European.
Yeah.
For example, there was a story that I like. It was about Christmas. It was about snowy Christmas. And I was reading it and I loved the illustrations. But when I remember my own Christmas was a very warm, hot Christmas in KwaZulu-Natal, where we will be dancing, we'll be having light clothes and so on.
Yeah.
Therefore, there was that contrast. Therefore, I realized that there is a need for me to contribute towards the literature by bringing books that will be relevant to the young readers as I enjoyed them as I grew up.
Absolutely. I think for young children to learn how to read is one of the most vital things to see change in our country and to see growth. Education, in my opinion, is the most important thing. How do you get children to learn to love to read?
The material that you produce, because there are a lot of material out there, but there are also gaps.
Yeah.
And one gap that I've identified, looking back from my own childhood, especially learning on another language like English, the nursery rhymes were very crucial for me because they started as a play. You'll be singing the nursery rhyme, but as you are singing, you are picking up action words.
Yeah.
You are also accumulating vocabulary in a form of, it was entertainment. You are entertained, but also singing along.
Yeah.
And later on, I realized that there are books of nursery rhyme, especially in English, the Mother Goose books, and a number of them from other publishers with illustrations.
Yeah.
The illustration is the flavor, because as you know, nursery rhymes sometimes are called silly verses, because the meaning sometimes you don't get it, but the illustrations unpacks it. And therefore, by so doing, you are exciting the young reader to be able now to enjoy the rhyme and the rhythm and the silliness of the nursery rhyme, but on top of that, also to be able to relate it to the illustration.
Yes.
Yes, that is why I think we can also excite young young readers through those particular actions. But secondly, is also to write books that have got characters that young readers will identify with.
Yeah.
In South Africa, of course, we've got love-hate with taxis. They're all over. They are part of our life.
Yeah.
Therefore, that prompted me to create a character of a taxi called Gimba.
Yeah.
Because the young readers will identify with taxi.
Well, let's go there with Gimba. Did you first write the story, or did you come up with the drawing first?
Yeah, that's a good question. I remember the story came up because at one stage I was a commuter myself as a student in Pietermaritzburg. We were squeezed in one taxi by a taxi driver, and it broke down. Therefore, we had to alight and came to another taxi.
Yeah.
And that sparked a story for me, which was the first part of Gimba, the series, which was called Gimba the Gritty Taxi. Therefore, once I had the story, I had to design the character.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to personify the taxi. That's why I had to create that particular character. The difficulty with the character of a vehicle is that it does not have limbs. Therefore, you have to use a lot of facial expression to relay the story, which was a challenging part of that. But that's how the character came about.
Yeah. Where did you learn to illustrate? Because I think painting and just drawing a picture is very different when it comes to book illustrations, no? Because there's got to be a continuation.
Yeah, I studied fine art at University of Natal in Pietermaritzburg. But you know, fine art is also another form of art. When you come to illustration, is another thing. Therefore, I had to teach myself illustration.
Wow.
That was through also reading books and looking at how the author and the illustrator combine to create a book that is cohesive and that is attractive.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things. But secondly, I will attend workshops, which we usually call the script is Sharon's charter, which is here in South Africa, where we share knowledge with writers and illustrators. And through that, I also learned a lot from other peer illustrators, especially. Yeah. But lastly, I was also part of a group of writers who went to the Nordic countries. It was Iceland and Norway.
The Nordic writers at the moment are brilliant, especially with thrillers, and a lot of the books that we're seeing in South Africa now that are really quite captivating are a lot of the Nordic writers.
Yes, they were far South Africans, and then we met the writers there. We workshopped for 2 weeks. That's where I also realized that writing for children is a big thing than I thought, because they are really serious about their writing there, and especially their language, the local language. Yeah, therefore I also learned things from that part.
And I think they've got one of the highest education rates in the world. And Madonna also wrote a children's book, and I interviewed Will Smith recently, and I know he's got one of the most famous quotes, and one of my favorite, saying that the two most important things in the world, there's two. One of them is running, because when you're running, you kind of get over all of your fears and the little man in your voice saying, you can't do this, you can't breathe, your legs are going to fall off. And once you can push through that, you can do anything. And the other one is reading, because it doesn't matter what your environment is. Once you have access to books and education, you can free yourself. How do we get more children reading and more children having access to books, and especially books like the ones that you write?
Start from the family now, because they were supposed to have a good quality time with the family, where at night you have to sit down and read to your young ones. That is planting a seed of reading. Because once you make it a habit, children they hook on it and they enjoy it. But there are two benefits from there. You are also sharing knowledge with the young one, but secondly, it's a quality time, which is very crucial in the family structure. Once you have read them, they got used to it. They are going to be readers in the future. Once they are old, it's part of their lifestyle that they will buy a book and they'll read. That's what we need to do. But secondly, as writers, I think there's a challenge for us that we need to create books that are also going to be very attractive to the young readers, that will be relevant, that will tap into the psyche and the interest of the young readers.
Absolutely. And that's why you change your content. And also the languages. How many different languages are your books published in?
Done is English, is Zulu. The one is Sotho, I've done is Xhosa, and I'm busy now with Sitsonga and Sevenda. And then gradually I just want to get it the indigenous language of South Africa. Amazing. There's also in Afrikaans. I've also done them in Afrikaans.
So because your books, I suppose, the content is a lot more attractive and a lot more understanding to kids, I hope they're going to start putting them through all the schools as well.
It would be a good thing to do. Yes.
I look forward to seeing that happen. Thank you very much for chatting with us, and I think your stories are very beautiful and very inspiring. Now, today you stand a chance of winning a hamper containing books by Njabulo Publishers. Simply SMS the keyword books, your name and city to 33650. SMSs are charged at R1.50 each. T's and C's apply and can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za.
Now, speaking about reading and learning, I was reading and learning a lot about early childhood development earlier, and I found out that about 7 million young South Africans between the ages of 0 and 6 exist in our country. 2/3 of those don't make it past matric. So it's really vital that we focus on early childhood development. So after the break, we're sitting down with Associate Professor from the Centre for Early Childhood Development to find out that and so much more.
Say yes to the Smart Snack.
Good to have you back with us on Afternoon Express as we focus on such a vital topic, education, and specifically early childhood development. Now, according to statistics, apparently 2 in 3 children who start school don't even make it past matric. So the amount of children starting grade 1 who only touch a pencil for the first time when they enter class is staggering. And this is where the Centre for Early Childhood Development in Cape Town has been providing support and resources to communities and parents for over 20 years. They're a non-profit organization, and to learn some more about the challenges that they face and how much of this work can be easily done by parents at home, we're joined today by the Director, Associate Professor Eric Atmore. Welcome to our loft.
Welcome, thank you.
What staggering statistics to hear about education. I mean, a lot of the press we've been speaking about of late has focused primarily on the sort of higher education, tertiary education, but this really does start from a very, very young age. So why is it that the centre was developed?
We have 7 million children in South Africa, aged birth to 6. And every child has the right to a good quality of learning, a good quality of life, healthy environment. So basically we're a child rights organization, and we work in the early childhood sector, providing buildings, providing equipment, training teachers, training governing bodies, and we cover the whole range of literacy, numeracy, life skills. So we're basically there together with 60 other non-profit providers across the country to see that our children get what is their right.
Okay, but why start on this period or this portion of the students? Why not focus on higher education or tertiary education? Because we know that there's a need, so that almost sounds like a superfluous question, but why did you choose to spend the money and investment on early childhood development?
Early childhood development is the process by which young children grow and develop. And it covers the social, educational, cognitive, physical, moral and spiritual development of young children. If we build that foundation, then the results, the international research tells us that there are phenomenal education, economic and social outcomes. Let me give you an example. A young child who attends a quality early childhood development center performs better at school. That's without a doubt. Okay. That child doesn't need costly remedial education. That child is less likely to be involved in crime and drugs. That child, as an adult, is more likely to get a job and to be productive. And what for me is fascinating is that a young girl who has a quality preschool learning program is less likely to become pregnant whilst a teenager. Now, those are huge social, economic, and educational benefits. What the Americans have done, they've quantified it, and for every $1 that's invested in an early childhood quality program, the return to society is about $16.
Sure.
Now, our research in South Africa tells us exactly the same. For every rand we invest, we get about a 16 rand return. Sure. Now, any businessman would take that return.
Yeah.
So it's now not even a debate. It's now indisputable that a child in a quality early learning program does better in life.
But this sounds obvious. It sounds something that needs to be rolled out across the board. And naturally, the first response is finances. A lot of parents don't have the funding to be able to go and do that, send their kids to those kinds of education centers. So it is an expensive exercise for families, especially when the parents are ill-equipped themselves, potentially young children having children, teenage pregnancies, etc. So how do we go about getting early childhood development to the areas that need it the most?
Early childhood development doesn't take place only in a preschool building. You know, some of the terminology, daycare centers, educare centers, nursery schools, kindergarten, that's one type of provision. Not every child needs a custom-built, single-purpose early childhood development center. There's a lot that parents can do. You know, the first and primary educator of all our children are the parents. Now, let's look at the home. The home is a learning institution. There's a spoon and a pot is a musical instrument. There are all those stories which parents have, which they've learned from their parents, which can be told to children. There's outdoor play, stones, sand, leaves, twigs. So if a parent puts or dedicates some time each day to working with their young child on the cognitive and social and emotional development, we can see the same effects as if those children had been in an early childhood development center. What early childhood development centers do, they cater mainly for working parents, and in this case, working mothers. So there's a whole range of services which are all on a continuum. Sadly, many of our parents think that the education happens in that building, when in fact the primary education happens between them and their child in the home.
So it kind of feels like, I mean, I've had this conversation, my mom being a headmistress with sort of high school students, is that parents try and farm off the development of their child to the schools. Why is my child not learning morality? Why are they not learning discipline? All of those things. And they kind of say, my family is separate to my education. And what's so interesting is you're saying that those two things shouldn't be so separate. It should be happening at home too.
It must happen at home. From conception, where it's critical that mothers have good nutrition, that the mother is in a stress-free environment, all the way through the birth process and through those early years. Research, again, is telling us that those first 1,000 days are so critical. That's 270 days of pregnancy, where the mother needs the nutrition and the support, and then the first 2 years. Those years are so critical. And in the home, the home is set up to provide that environment for young children to thrive. If we can get that right, if we can get parents understanding that they are the primary educators of their young children, then I think we put those children on a road to success.
I love that. But now, so let's take it back to this concern of the parents feeling ill-equipped, because you sounded like you're putting a lot of pressure on those families to be everything for their child, to make sure that they are learning these cognitive skills, emotions, emotive skills, all of those things. That's quite a lot of pressure to put on a parent, I think, in some ways, because especially if you don't really have the resources or you're working 2 jobs at the same time, how does a mother go and learn skills like that? How do you know which skills to teach your children? How do you know at what stage? It is overwhelming.
I think one of the weaknesses in our early childhood provision system in this country is that we do not focus on the parent. We, as professionals, we're partly to blame for focusing on the early childhood development center. But I think, you know, if you look in the home environment, and if the mother gets the support, both within her family and from the wider community, all it needs is maybe an hour or so a day. And it's basically cost-free, because you can use the materials in the environment. Stories don't cost you anything. And children love nothing more than hearing, what did mommy or daddy do when they were a child? What did grandfather do? So that's how we develop the literacy skills of these young children. And Themba's work and the books that he's written, the illustrations, those are all critical to the success of children. But mothers have those stories in their heads as well, and they can relate them. So a simple crayon and a piece of paper can be a wonderful opportunity to acquire literacy, numeracy, and life skills. And parents have it in them. All they need is the encouragement and the support of their wider family and of the community.
Lovely. So you've got the resources internally, but just for instance, if there's a mother who wants to go and find a website or some kind of information online of certain little skills that they can do, little activities, is there such a resource?
The National Department of Social Development has produced a brilliant book on parenting. It's available in paper, in hard copy, but it's also available online. And this traces the development of young children, how young children develop, the various milestones, and what activities can be done in the home at no cost. Amazing. So really, parents, as the primary and first educators of their children, have this responsibility. And the nice thing is that it's fun as well. Fantastic. There's nothing better than when you're bathing your child, using that time to bond with the child, to tell a story, to explain to the child what the water does. So in every household activity, there's a learning, there's a lesson, there's an opportunity for learning. And parents, fathers, I want to stress fathers, because fathers are often sidelined, but fathers and mothers, grandparents and siblings are critical to the development of young children.
Professor, thank you so much. This is really insightful information, and I'm really excited to see what happens with our education system with so much of the good work that you guys are doing. So thanks for joining us in the loft today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Over to you, Jeans.
Still to come on Afternoon Express, we visit a school that is definitely breaking new ground.
Experience the world in a way less limited. Apply today at dinersclub.co.za.
Good to have you back with us on Afternoon Express on this beautiful Friday afternoon as we focus our energies on early childhood development. We've so far spoken to a professional, one of the guys from the Centre for Early Childhood Development, telling us how important it is to lay that foundation for your kids before they enter into their later stages of their education. And I was feeling disheartened a couple of weeks ago, finding out more and more about the crisis around education, until I went to go visit a school that was absolutely incredible. They've just launched their brand new premises, and they're called Hangberg Primary, doing exactly what a professor said schools need to do.
3, 2, 1.
Today we're in Hout Bay for the grand opening of Hangberg Pre-Primary School, which is a collaboration between various stakeholders to make education accessible and affordable to these bright young minds. This is a back-to-school story like no other. Marguerite, our country is so obsessed with education, and with all the press going around tertiary education, I found it so fascinating that you guys have started from the primary level, from pre-primary school. So how did the trust come about in terms of setting this up?
The trust we established in May 2012. Tanya Gray and I are the founding members, and we had some trustees from the community. The vision of this trust was to create quality infrastructure for preschool children in this Hangberg community. There was a desperate need for it, and we had identified this, and the trust was established.
Debbie, every community in South Africa has different needs and different wants at particular periods of time. What was the specific need that you think needed to be solved here in Hout Bay?
Certainly, in particularly poor communities, very often the children don't get enough stimulation that they need to get fine motor skills, to get basic reading skills and abilities to do that. So it's really in line with all of our strategies as the Western Cape government, and I think it's a fantastic initiative.
If your child can't hold a pen properly by the time he enters grade 1 and he fails grade 1, his life is so far behind. And Sentinel Primary School in 2013 had a fail rate in grade 1 of 13%. That is more than 1 in 10 children. And if you looked at that statistic and you analysed it a little bit deeper, 1 in 4 failed grade 1 if the child had no preschool exposure. And I don't think this community is different to many other communities.
MEC, with projects of this size, collaboration is always so important, and I'm very interested to know why government chose to get involved in this project.
Well, we were actually approached by the Hangberg Education Trust, who wanted to make a contribution, but they also wanted, obviously, security for their investment. And ultimately, we came up with this site at the Sentinel School, where we already have 2 grade R classrooms. And that gave them the added assurance that it would be on school premises. It's government-owned land, so they won't be kicked off anytime soon.
And then in May 2014, the Department of Public Works approved the plans, and from there we had the go-ahead to actually develop a pre-primary school on the grounds of Sentinel Primary School. And in July 2014, first day we had 9 little boys with Mrs. Arn, our first teacher, and by the end of the week there was 20 children in the class, and by the end of the year we were at 34. The next year we opened a 2nd grade R class. We were immediately oversubscribed, and yes, now here we're sitting today with 120 children, and we've got a waiting list. I'm glad we started.
Edith, being a grandmother to 2 kids is already incredibly hard work, so it must have been very exciting to hear that a brand new pre-primary school was opening up in your area. Why did you choose to send your grandkids to Hangberg?
When I heard about the school, Mrs. Arndt told me about it. And I said, oh, but that would be a good idea for my 2 little ones. They're both 5 now at the moment. And it's a very good school. I mean, Caden can read. At 4 years old, he started to read with his aunt, and now Cody also started.
And in terms of the community, how they responded to having the school around?
And all I've heard, every day parents will say, no, they're a good school. Every day I heard it because I'm here at the school every day. I'm working here in the school also, in the kitchen. I'm very happy with this job. I come to school with him and I go home with him.
Now, have the teachers that work here, have they been sourced from the community?
From the community, in this community. This is a development project. It belongs to the community. We must be able to walk away here in a few years' time, and it must be something that the community wants to manage in the way that it's currently managed.
One of my favorite things about this is that it's a sustainable model. And I think a lot of people from around the country can learn a lot from what you guys are doing here. So what is your message to them?
Do it properly from day one. Register a trust. Get it well governed. Have a long-term vision. This didn't happen overnight. This took 4 years. You know, we can turn around this amazing country. We really can. We can impact, I've worked it out, 600,000 young pre-primary school children. We've got 15,000 primary schools. Imagine we build this in 6,000 of them. 600,000 young ones' lives will change because they won't fail grade 1. They won't be failures. They will move on. And that's what we need. We need to feed our schools with children that want to learn.
Wow, that looks brilliant.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see these projects starting to happen because, and if you want to really solve the crisis later on, this is really the place to start.
I'm so excited of seeing so many more places that are becoming sustainable, because that's the way forward. You can't expect.
Is this one of many stories in South Africa?
There are many, many stories across the country. If you look across the Cape Flats, if you go up to Limpopo, Northwest, there are phenomenal women. It's not the politicians who build this country. It's the women. It's not even the men. It's the women who build this country. And they care for our children. Every day, 70,000 women go to work to care for our children. They get paid 500, 600, 700, 800 rand a month. They work long hours. They are building our country. They're living the Mandela legacy.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I was so impressed when she said that her grandson had started reading at home already when he was 4 years old.
Yes.
And so now all the other kids, I suppose, in that class are going to learn, because you're actually getting that one-on-one care where a teacher is able to sit and read word for word with you. I love seeing that.
And they're good examples to their friends.
Yes, truly. They are.
That centre will be inspirational. You'll see now that the homes in that community will suddenly spruce themselves up, because it happens wherever we go. Put a quality preschool up in Delft, and you see the community solidify around that preschool.
Yeah, they uplift each other around that.
Exactly.
I love.
It becomes
amazing.
aspirational.
Sure. What an interesting conversation we've been having on the show today, and I'm so glad that you guys are part of it. Make sure you go and share all the details on all the hero stories you know of your communities on our social sites. We'd love to hear from you. Coming up after the break, it's the date night conversation. We're going to be having a chat about what to wear, how to dress it up, how to dress it down. All those details coming up next.
Afternoon Express is big on fashion and big on food. Follow us on Instagram to check out who wore what and find our mouth-watering recipe recaps so you can dress and dine the Afternoon Express way.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, one of my favorite days of the year are fast approaching, and I've been wanting to know for the longest time what your take on it is. So Valentine's Day is happening on the 14th of February, and what are your plans? Have you got anyone to stalk, or to Valentine?
Honestly speaking, no dates planned for this year, but I love Valentine's Day. It's my favorite day in the year.
Really?
Because it's a great excuse to buy yourself chocolate and eat the hell out of it because you're lonely. I'm totally kidding. I've got no plans for Valentine's Day.
He's the saddest guy on the planet. Okay, I'll buy you chocolate this year.
Do you have plans for Valentine's Day?
I have, every day is Valentine's Day when you meet.
Oh, wow. Okay, that just happened. All right.
I'm joking. But I do love Valentine's Day. I do definitely have plans for Valentine's Day.
Great.
I'm going to be sobbing into my pillow in an ice cream bowl.
I'll bring the ice cream, yes.
Now, with Valentine's Day approaching, it's time for a little fashion inspiration. Yesterday, we shared some great tips for the guys, and in today's fashion workshop, styling coordinator for the Threaded Man, Simbongile Ndlangisa, focuses on the ladies. She highlights the full array of Valentine's Day celebrations and how to look your best for each. Whether it's a last-minute Tinder date or drinks with friends, we've got you sorted.
Hey guys, this is Simbongile, your styling coordinator. And in today's fashion workshop, I'll be helping you get ready for Valentine's Day with my girl Soyama. So whether it's a date with Bae or drinks with the girls, I've got you covered from head to toe. So for the first look, this is your date with Bae, the classic Valentine's Day setup. Here you might want to pull out all the stops, but this year let's opt for a little more sophistication. You're still sexy, but you're not giving it all away. So I've paired Soyama in a narrow black tailored trouser with a lace semi-sheer crop top, and this is where you can bring out that strategic skin reveal. You can wear it with a lace bra or a bandeau underneath, depending on your vibe. So to add in that pop of color, we've gone with a pink suede pump, which really elevates this tonal look. Opt for some really understated jewelry with that feminine touch, and then all that's left to do is for you to grab your clutch and you're ready for your date night. If you're going on a casual date instead of a big night out, let's focus on street-inspired fashion that will leave you feeling both comfortable and effortlessly cool. Let's start with the foundation, the navy dress. The little navy dress is really in this season, and we've gone with an off-the-shoulder variation, another really classy way to show some skin. With a cute dress like the off-the-shoulder, contrast it with a low-cut Chelsea boot, the OG of footwear. We're all about creating balance by drawing both on our masculine and feminine parts of our style. And finally, add a classic denim jacket to really street it up. Throw on your favorite faux alligator crossbody bag, and that's your casual date done. Boho chic. Ladies, this is the date scenario that counts the most. A first impression only comes around once. You don't want to overwhelm your date, so simplicity is key. Let your style speak louder once you have them hooked. I've decided to put Soyama in a gorgeous pink slip dress. The color against her skin is amazing. So lush. You might think too conservative, but let's turn to the back. The V-slit down the back ensures that skin is seen. Again, it's all about being strategic when it comes to anything revealing. The loose cut means it's not too figure-hugging. Being self-conscious is not an option tonight. Glam up with some gold accessories. Yellow gold goes beautifully with the shade of pink. Grab a white clutch with the same color accents to bring out that pink hue. For the shoe, I've decided to go with a block sandal with a cork heel, something slightly different from the norm. With this look, you'll definitely get a swipe right. If V-Day isn't your vibe and you'd much prefer a night out with the girls, it's the perfect opportunity to play with your style. There are no limits. Let's experiment. I've paired the sleeveless duster coats with a grey pair of boyfriend jeans. They're low in the hip and wide through the leg. They're as comfortable as they look, and trust me ladies, you won't lose your sense of style. Now, this is the one type of Valentine's occasion when I'd opt for a more is more mantra. I've introduced the lingerie as outerwear trend by using a lace bralette as a crop top. You're in control of how much flesh you show, and this duster coat ensures that. You can cover up by pinning the midsection or keep it open. You're with your girls, there's no judgment here. We've kept the elegance by adding a flesh pair of brogues. This shoe's been around since the 16th century. It knows what to do. To complete this look, I've carefully selected a few accessories, my favorite being this ear cuff. It's edgy, it's dramatic, just like this look. That was your Valentine's Day survival rundown. 4 looks for 4 very different occasions. Fashion is all about experimentation, so never box yourself into one style. Have fun and enjoy the day, however you may be spending it.
Wow, there were definitely pieces there that I cannot live without. Those pink shoes. I'll go on a date with somebody just to wear those shoes.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, well, I don't have a date for Valentine's. I'm trying to find that lady's number. I'm trying to find where it is. Like, is it on our call sheet? Do you have it, boss? I want to know the number for this girl.
Okay,
It's
so
amazing.
tell me, if you had to take a girl out on Valentine's Day, what would you do with her?
So I'm all about memorable experiences, things to remember. So I know of some very secret little places around with some beautiful views that are secluded in a way. So create an experience there that is unforgettable. So dinners and stuff anyone can do. Everyone knows I can cook. So it's one of those like places that is so different and exciting with a beautiful view, something that you'll never forget.
I'm going to have to maybe start being your pimp and find you a girlfriend.
This is a plan.
I'm going to work on it. Now, whether you celebrate Valentine's Day or not, some great fashion insight there. And if you want to achieve any of the looks yourselves, check out our Afternoon Express Facebook page for our quick fix fashion guide. And all of the fashion tips, all you need, all in demand, right there. I know what I'm going to wear on Valentine's Day. And if I don't find anything else to do, perhaps you can take me out.
Oh, yes. Is this a deal? Can we shake on it on live TV?
Yeah, because I'm never going to be.
The chances are so low, it's not even an investment. Now, guys, listen, speaking of Valentine's Day, if you're not going to get any pata over the important day, the Artscape has got a really cool production of the life of Miriam Makeba to share with you guys, so make sure you go and check it out. Here are the details.
Today we're at the rehearsal for a beautiful and inspirational stage production called Mama Africa. It's about the life and career of musician and activist Miriam Makeba. It's directed by award-winning director Niyi Koka Jr. And it's particularly special to me because I happen to know Miriam Makeba and I had the honor and pleasure of living with her for some time. Let's go see what they're up to.
The show is about the life and career of Miriam Makeba.
Yes.
But it's such a vast life.
Yes,
It's such a huge experience.
Yeah.
How did you come to tell this particular story?
The more I read about Mama Makeba and the more you look at her life, the background, her life story, you get more. There's no way you can't be passionate about telling her story, because this was a revolutionary person. This was a person who just then straddled the fence. She was part of the civil rights movement in the USA. She was part of the apartheid struggle here in South Africa. Even though she lived in the USA, she was constantly part of that struggle in the USA, telling the South African story.
Now, one often finds in the case of international collaborations with South Africa that a foreign cast is usually chosen. What made you decide to take that brave choice of choosing a fully South African cast?
You could authentically only tell the stories being South African. There's no way somebody from the USA can tell the story, you know, authentically, you know, or even to sound closer. You need people from within the culture. You can't get somebody from New York City say, yeah, this is what you do, this is, you know, you got to get people from within the culture. Yeah.
Now, the play has been staged prior to this all over the world. What other theatres has it performed at?
It's performed at the Two Hill Theater on Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis, Missouri. It's performed at the Skirball Theater in New York City. New York City was like coming back home because Miriam lived in New York. There were people who came to the theater who'd been to see her shows in New York. And a lot of people in the 60s, 70s, 80s showed up and had tears in their eyes, and we're talking about recalling going to see her concerts in the 60s. It was just a wonderful, wonderful time in New York.
We obviously all agree that collaborations like this are really important, but for you personally, what's the significance of it?
It's humbling. It's humbling because a lot has happened here, and the fact that you could deprive a whole set of people the ability to tell their story through the arts. And for me to have the opportunity, I call it a big opportunity, to come in here and be part of trying to stop that, where people tell their own stories where they've been deprived before. I think it's just a wonderful opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and we look forward to seeing the show. So you play the role of Miriam. Mm-hmm. Big shoes to fill. How does it feel?
Oh my God, daunting. You can only imagine Miriam. It was exciting and I'm still looking forward to it.
Now, being an actress myself, I know that there's a story you want to tell apart from the story that is written in the script. Mm-hmm. When people watch your portrayal of Miriam Makeba, what do you want them to take away?
The beautiful music. For mna being ongumama kule industry, istory sakhe sendifundise ukuthi akuqalanga only now ukuba nzima for umuntu ongumama kule industry. Into ekudala ikhona kudala beyiphila sidibonile kuye from kwistory sakhe, so ndifunde a lot from kwistory sakhe nje eyedwa.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of Miriam's story?
Kugoduka kwakhe, homecoming. It's very touchy kakhulu, and all the time xa ndiyenza ndiyayifila ukuthi ngoku it's like uyagoduka after 40 years ekwi-exile bekungekho lula uye nje uxela nje istori sakhe sisonke bengekho lula so uyagoduka and then it's sad and then I love that part.
For audiences looking forward to come to see the show, what can they expect?
Oh, they can expect energy, first of all. They can expect history, especially about this phenomenal woman. As celebrated as she was, most younger South Africans don't know much about her, how she became a political stalwart. And it is through performing for President Kennedy. And he told her that, he's aware of the political scenarios back home. And he was then actually inviting her to come and speak in the UN Council. In a nutshell, that is how she actually became a political, stalwart. And by so doing, in fact, her passport was actually revoked. And she could no longer actually come back to the country. And a tour that was initially meant to be 3 months became her lifetime. I mean, she was away from home for almost 40 years. Yeah, people are going to actually learn about that because I think it's such an outstanding part of our history which we should know about.
It's getting hot in the kitchen, and I'm not talking about the stove. After the break, Dan, Jeannie, the official walk-off.
Give your bakes a full-bodied aromatic flavor with delicious, sticky, golden brown sugar and turn your treats into decadent food memories. Salati, always good, always sweet.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Yes, we are in the kitchen, and the only thing better than cooking is cooking with others, except in this circumstance. Jeannie and I are going head-to-head in a cook-off. What are the rules, Clem?
So, what you got in front of you is some chicken. You don't have to use it, but it's great if you want to add some protein. Then you've got some easy-to-wok, some sauces there. They're for the easy-to-cook, easy-to-wok range. And you've got these little packs. So basically, these are your go-to packs. Everything's chopped for you, everything's ready. So it's how you layer it, how you cook it that's important. Dan, are you scouting out there? I'm going to get your stoves on for you. So I'm going to make sure there's no cheating, because that could happen.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, you're going to have about 4 minutes. You're going to have 4 minutes, and I'm going to check in on you to find out what you're using and how you're doing it. Okay?
Cool.
Cool. So, ready, steady, walk.
Walk! I feel like we should have like a theme song to this.
Okay, let's see what did you go for, Dan?
I went with the brown mushroom one for a little bit, because I just want the brown mushrooms out of here, actually.
There we go.
Just something slightly different.
Jeannie, what did you go for?
I've just gone for the bright and crunchy.
Yeah. Okay, awesome, awesome.
Ooh, I'm trying
and I'm separating. Oh man, I should have put onions in first. Hey.
No, it's fine. You can totally go. I like the way that you guys are going at this with some serious competition. And if you need the scissors, I have the scissors. The reason for that is I'm only allowed to give you one sharp object each.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of the rules.
Well, I've got my tongue, so that's enough.
Oh,
that's
my goodness.
I've got my brain.
Oh, that was touché, girl.
Careful fingers. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Cool.
So I like that the vegetables have gone in first. Is that for some reason, Dan?
The vegetables gone in first, yes. Well, I want them to kind of come down to size. I want them to wilt slightly. Just going to cut my pack. I just want you to wilt them slightly just so that I can get them ready to absorb some of the flavors of the sauces.
Help him.
No, the scissors. I'm allowed to use the scissors.
Oh, this one's got a thing. This one's got a tearing.
You got a little tear. There we go.
But I do want to throw in the flavors as soon as possible to get them incorporated because I want a slightly smokier flavor.
And I see, Jeannie,
you've mine off or something.
No, you're on there. You're on there. You've got the chicken going in. You add in some protein.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I like that you kept it nice and chunky.
Keeping it chunky. I'm keeping it nice and. What's that word you always use? Rustic.
Rustic. And I think that's also great because the vegetables are also quite nice and chunky. So you know what you're eating. You see it and you're going to bite into it and know that's a piece of like spinach, piece of courgette. Really good.
Well, that's why I've also chosen this particular one because it's got the nice whole bits of broccoli in here and whole bits of courgettes as well. So hopefully that'll also give it a nice crunch. Dynamic flavors, Clem.
And Jeannie's got some nice intense flavors there with the onion that's in there. There we go. And Jeannie, you've gone for the
stir-fry sauce, Thai coconut. It's got coconut milk, soy sauce, ginger, coriander, lemongrass. But I'm going to be throwing in a little bit of that. And then I'm going to first taste it and then see if I need more.
Dan, have you tasted yours yet?
Do I need to taste mine?
Oh my goodness.
I know it's going to be good.
Okay, look at that. The chefy flip. Oh, was that a bit of sabotage knocking your pan off there?
Yeah,
slightly
he did.
there.
He cheated, he knocked out.
But that's looking very good. Oh my goodness.
I think I might have put a bit much sauce. I won't lie to you.
All right. No, sauce is
that
good.
looks a little too saucy.
So Dan, what sauces have you used?
So I've used the teriyaki because I know teriyaki itself is a very nice, strong base sauce. And then I've added all the subtleties of the stir-fry sauce, the Thai coconut, because it's got that little bit of chili in there, and I love coconut. So
you both gone for that. That's really good.
I should taste it.
What's up, Jeannie? Tell me, what are you tasting?
I tasted his.
Oh, that's good.
It's amazing, but mine's less saucy than his.
Okay, cool.
A
little bit of spice in there, Dad.
A lot of flavour in here.
Okay, cool.
This is amazing.
This is going. I'm scared right now.
It's not going everywhere. It's staying in here.
Okay, so that's very good.
And next is plated.
So guys, you've also got lemons and limes. I know that you used your lemon already, and you've got some coriander. Let me grab you your herbs. You've got some coriander, some basil, some chive, if you just want to garnish it. And I don't want to alarm you, but you've got 1 minute left on the timer.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I don't let time intimidate me.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm going to try something slightly different with these.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can cut my chicken.
Can you please explain this positioning of your body as you slice the chicken?
Just to make sure that I get the right, energies. You want to use your whole body to slice. Oh no, it's not cutting nicely.
Because I got
You see, I'm not good with chicks, guys. Come now.
All right. But I must say, the smells are smelling. It smells amazing, and the smell quite different.
30 seconds.
Gina, you good there? You good? Okay. Are you right? Ice cold water.
Yeah.
I think. Okay. Both dishes are plated. Okay, some garnishing. Jeannie, what's your inspiration for the garnishing?
Coriander. I'm keeping it simple.
I'm going to throw some.
Okay. Coriander, awesome. The other chicken went on top.
Yes.
Okay. 10 seconds, guys. 10.
I'm done.
Are we
some
ready?
lime. And some extra.
Ta-da!
Finished.
Guys, that's it. That's time. Whoa!
Food fighting the kids. I'm just going to eat the chicken.
Okay, so it's done. I'm so impressed. Guys, this is amazing. 2 beautiful bowls that are done. I didn't have to cook. How are you guys feeling?
That was lots of fun. It was so simple.
Okay, let's take this to our guests.
Right.
I'm most pleased.
It depends how much you've bribed our guests. Right,
hello,
ladies or
gentlemen.
gents. Also, ladies and gents, imagine. Oh, sorry, jeans. There we go. You can put yours on the platform. Oh, no.
Thank you. We've been slaving away for your dinner.
So we've loved your input, but we need you to judge our dishes.
Yeah. Just based on appearance, which one do you think is the winning dish? Just based on
allocating.
appearance.
Do you have a favorite yet, Prof?
On the left.
Thank you. What, Jeannie 1, Danilo 1?
Right, so it's 1-1.
Jeannie 1, Danilo 1.
It's all down to taste
let's
then.
just, dish some up.
Do you guys want to dish yourselves up that side?
Sure thing. Let me do the honors of dishing this side.
There you go. And I would dish up this way. We have 1 spoon, so.
You can use your fork.
Can I?
So we got to give you a little bit on the side.
Oh, no, look, you're only giving them yours. As opposed to you. So cheeky like
No, but maybe he's getting the worst first. This one tastes better the second time
that's
round.
That's actually exactly what's going on. Thank you. You can taste mine because I know you're going to like it the most.
That is what I want to do, actually, because I want to see what the competition was like. That's really good.
You know that it's stiff.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to taste this just to get the flavours in there. Right,
Okay,
gents,
go for it,
taste
have a
the
bite.
Give it a try.
And maybe rate Danilo's out of 10 because I'm not entirely certain of how good it's going to be.
Okay,
if you're allergic to anything, including bad food, it's his fault.
Right.
Pass me a fork there, Dad.
So I threw some of those flavours in there, which are coconutty, slightly spicy, lots of zestiness, so it's fresh, it's summer. They're not looking impressed, they've got those.
Mine's definitely really
The winner.
good. No, yours is good, actually. I was very impressed with yours.
You can smell the coconut coming off this immediately.
Exactly, nice and fragrant. Okay, what do you think?
Yours is really nice and sweet.
Coconut is great.
Is that my one?
Which is this one?
That's yours, Dad.
The coconut one.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Good, hey?
Want to try a little bit of this?
You have to try that one next and see. Yours is actually very good because it's nice and sweet,
Yeah, like me.
like you.
Thank you so much for coming through to the show. It was really, really wonderful having you. And we're also very insightful. Have a wonderful weekend. And you, and to you.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully this weekend I'll find you a little lass for Valentine's Day so that you don't go.
Someone to swipe, is it right or left? I've never been on Tinder.
I don't know, me neither. Let's start a Tinder profile for you this weekend. That's what we're going to do.
To the rest of you, I hope you guys have a great time. Enjoy making delicious food. Be around the family. Celebrate, have fun, let your hair loose. And we'll see you again next week right here on Afternoon Express, live at 5 on SABC3. I won, right?
Danilo, it was outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you. Clement, the expert.
I have a very long year ahead with you two of you, so my answer is...
You just suddenly gone mute. We'll have to find out online whose the favorite was. Let us know, tweet us, Facebook us, all of those good things. Good night and happy eating. Bye.
Another feel-good production.